Local reaction tonight about a major Supreme Court ruling on affirmative action policies and student admissions. We'll hear from local universities, and this is new at 6. We'll also hear from a Hawaiian man who graduated from Harvard on how the policy might have affected him if he were applying to Harvard today.
About this.
Lunalilo Home CEO Keolamaikalani Dean graduated from Harvard. He says he's upset with the Supreme Court's ruling.
Would you have gotten into Harvard if you didn't have affirmative action?
I may or may not have gotten into Harvard. But what's disappointing about this ruling is that personal lived experience, especially with racial injustice, is now irrelevant to the admissions decisions, except in a very narrow way.
A constitutional law professor explains how race factored into admissions.
We don't have to rely just on things like scores, right, and grades. We can take more into account. And one of the things we can take into account is a person's race and how that might have affected where they are today.
The Supreme Court says colleges and universities can no longer take race into consideration as a specific basis for granting admission. The opinion says Harvard's and University of North Carolina's admissions programs violated the Equal Protection Clause because they failed to offer measurable objectives to justify the use of race. University of Hawaii President David Lassner says this is beyond disappointing and that UH stands firmly committed to provide higher education opportunities for all. It is now analyzing the Supreme Court ruling to see if they need to make any changes. Chaminade University agrees the ruling.
Admission is more than disappointing. It ignores the continued effects of racism in our society.
Chaminade and Hawaii Pacific University say they don't use race-based admissions, so this will not affect their admissions, but
it really undermines the work that universities have voluntarily taken on for decades to be a solution in a society that provides way too few solutions for this social evil of racism.
I'm concerned that this will impact Native Hawaiians applying for college, all races applying for college. And I'm concerned about the impact on society of creating more of a divergence between the haves and the have-nots.